good form for this in, let's for argument's sake, it's November, December, we're going to do it. Or, and I honestly think it could be something good. It could be the making of, take a bad situation and take it into opportunity for the future.
Putty, who's the defending 1A champs?
I love it, mate.
Does that mean you keep it for another year? Yeah, do you hold on for another year?
The trophy now. Hey, that's inappropriate.
Sorry.
Did they go the top four? Were they in the top four? Were they?
Oh,
how did that go?
Get out of here.
How did that go?
That was such a terrible weather game. That was such a terrible weather game. We should have just written it off. No, what a year,
Putty, by the way, look at this handsome guy behind me in this picture here, eh? There's this young Kevin Putt.
Who's that young man with the terrible haircut?
Hey, Putty, like one of the things too is you're hearing about, as I'm reading headlines around the world, they're worried, and it's this thing of will a sport survive, right? And I think really they're talking about will a commercial thing built around a sport survive, really? I mean, it's not like people are going to stop playing rugby league or basketball or football or rugby union, right? But just to keep it with rugby union, if something falls over, they can't get Sanzar going again because you've got 3, 4, or 5 different economies trying to figure out how to get going. New Zealand by itself, will it be okay would rugby in New Zealand be okay?
Nah, mate. Oh, look, you remember, you've just asked me 2 things. Will rugby be okay? Yes, because it's a culture in this country. It's people have joked about it being a religion, but just more important. You've got to remember, why are they trying to push the NRL, and why is rugby trying to get the game back at a professional level? All the money is through broadcasting. It's not bums on seats. It costs the Blues nearly to operate their games. Bums on seats does not generate the income that is necessary to pay the players, etc., around it. And therefore, you need the professional game operating at that level. If we can get the broadcasting games and that going, I still don't see rugby is inherent in us. It's going to keep going. You've got to remember, I come from the era of swap over. I played provincial rugby since 84 through to 2002, right? And so I saw the amateur era, I saw the professional. There was bugger all different, except my back count looked a little bit better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I didn't change any sort of ethos to what I was doing, except maybe trying to protect myself a bit more when it got professional. People got bigger and the defences got so much tougher. So will the game take a knock? Financially, yes, it may. But culturally, no. I still think it's part of Kiwiana, mate.
In saying that, could the Australian and New Zealand teams link up and maybe the broadcasting works out some way there? Would that make the game survive a bit longer or help them financially?
Yeah, Blake. The biggest problem, and look, you'd need to speak to clever people, not ones like me, but do you realise with Sanzar, the money is generated generally from the South Africa. They're the ones putting the bucks into it. They've got the 60-odd million or 40 million or whatever people. It's unless we link into somewhere like Japan, which is suddenly an untapped market of broadcasting rights, then we'd have to be really unique with what we're doing. Yeah, we'd survive, but we're not going to suddenly be able to keep our players. They're going to be going out, well, except with the COVID-19. They're going nowhere. Yeah. But you get what I mean. They're going to struggle to be kept in this place by the generation of funds.
Putty, we won't hold you for too much longer because we know you'll probably have something to do at the school. Maybe
it's got to be involved in a TikTok video in the boarding room.
The meals, guys. I'm just cooking the meals.
Cooking the meals. Keep the rice boiling over. But there are a few questions that have come in on the stream straight away. So if I could clear some with you and help you connect. Aidan wants to say, I know Kevin wasn't there too long and it was a difficult time in his life, but as a London Irish fan, I want to thank him for his services to the club from back in the day. #legend.
Yeah, it was great fun.
Nathan Nippert says, how active are the Northern Hemisphere clubs in and around our school system?
Yeah, huge, mate.
Really?
Yeah, very much. Look, they're probably more active around the Polynesian youth coming out. So Fiji, Samoa are being tapped hugely by the kids moving out of there. and going straight into the semi-professional come professional leagues over there. But they're already, we get a few inquiries with what's going on. They don't tend to leave it too long. You'd be amazed with how it goes now, because you said it before about gold nuggets. That's literally what it is. If you find a good one in the rough here, you can produce. And remember, especially if you look at how the Northern Hemisphere game is played, you can go for some of your big flipping tough devils, and they can make a fortune, especially your tight head props, mate. They're gold.
Hey, mate, I just want to know, we spoke about the unprofessional and the professional. Back in the day, London Irish, when you played, how was the nightlife over there in England?
Yeah.
Please don't ask, because that will just prove I was probably more in the amateur day more than the professional.
Oh, this is good.
That's my kind of story.
I acted like a complete amateur.
Yeah, love it.
No, look, Paddy, you don't know this. Blake asks everyone that, and so far in the story, we've heard that Reuben Wiki had a gun pulled on him in a car park. We've had a scientist who went kite surfing with Richard Branson on the island. We've had Lachlan Boshier, who, what was it? He went out one night in LA and ended up in a millionaire's mansion up in Beverly Hills. So it is good. People are sharing.
Hang on, I've got to continue with that vein. In which case, my number 8 for London Irish was with Matt Damon in Invictus. Zach Fianati played Jonah Lohman in the movie. Yeah, you know, Zach's down in Wellington at the moment in that, you know. So, that's about as good as I can get, mate. The only other good story I've got from the amateur days was Ricky Allison. You remember?
Ricky Allison.
Yeah. Come across with his, he won with the 49ers, wasn't it?
Yes.
3 championship rings. He come around. Jeepers, mate. I could have worn it as a bracelet. Look, mate. Awesome.
He's a spaced out dude too, because doesn't he work with like, he's like, isn't like Air Force like missiles and stuff like that? Like he's like got a really official job now.
Hey mate, we're on the lash in Richmond. I wouldn't have known what he was doing.
That's the story. Hey,
God,
buddy, thank you so much for your time, man. We truly appreciate it.
Thanks,
And you do give us a real human side into the lads who we obviously are rooting for in the professional era that we kind of don't get to know or don't really have a lot of feeling for at this very young age, but they are your gems. You're the one who is looking after them. So thank you for giving us some insight in that.
Mark, it's been a pleasure. Good evening, guys, eh?
Have a good one, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Very, very interesting. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
Here we go. So I've got here, Blake. So this is that's Putty when he was playing for Waikato. There is a young man. And that rugby ball is so special to probably, I think, New Zealand males from about the age of 40 upwards.
It had the black knobs on it.
It had the black ends on it. And that was that one. I remember like playing with that when you're like 13. You just felt so professional. You're like, I've got one of the balls.
It was Blake. It was slippery as all shit. Yeah. You couldn't hold it. It was like a bar of soap, and especially when you went and go play it in the frost, when you're playing in bare feet in the frost back in Gizzy, and the thing used to, you get it thrown to you, it'd be like a rock solid piece of ice, and it would just slip out and be like, ah! But
you go, catch it, you dick.
Yeah, you want to know why you guys haven't won the Bledisloe in so long? That's what we used to play with, mate. That was how we
bar of soap practice. And this was of course Putty when he went to South Africa, and he ended up in the Springboks. So there he was with his.
I was about to ask that. So he played Springboks, did he?
Yes, he did. Yes, yeah. He ended up over there with a massive Ford pack and that, running around those giants of men there. And that was also too when we hadn't really, obviously South Africa had been in timeout for a while, and we hadn't seen them there. And then they showed up with just these giants, and I remember you're like, oh my God, look, are those humans? They are humans. Look at them.
They were ferocious, though. Like the size. Carl Smith says, "Love that ball. A pain when you kicked it. Oh shit, yes.
Oh yeah, it used to hurt, eh? It'd sting your foot.
Take your whole foot off." Nathan Nippert says, "I had one of those balls signed by Smoking Joe and Frank Bunce."
Oh, love that. What's that pic behind you there, Blake?
Yeah, what is that?
So that was the school we went to. There, that's I think that's my second last year. We won 3 titles in a row. We beat the Kebra Park, who usually take a lot of
they're famous as
yeah. So we beat them 3 years in a row. They had Ben Teo, Bodine Thompson, players like that. We had about 5 or 6 there that ended up playing NRL, making a living. Oh, that's why it was interesting talking to him about that last year, because Tim Sheens was there watching. And if he wasn't there watching, I don't know if I would have.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That was your big moment. Was your last year at high school? You were there. Yeah. Tim Sheens was there.
The last 2 years we played Keebro and we beat them in the final when he was there. Oh, and it just so happened that,
What about that moment you were talking to us about your glory days, and then a much more accomplished footballer just joined the show and he's stood there with his arms crossed?
I was just about to say, I think he went to Ashford's tackle school.
Where did you get out of the way? Oh, look
He's been to Ashford's tackle school.
Look at that.
Look at him. He's learned a few things off me.
Yeah, no, he got me. He got me good that time.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
What's going on, fellas?
Blake Green, how are you?
What an intro. This is sorry, mate, but just to start with, how good is it that you're on Zoom?
I know.
Oh, it's so good.
We're doing Facebook Lives. I couldn't even get into it. Well, I had to get the app. I didn't even know what it was.
Mate, you have been with us since day dot. Like, you were one of the OGs, the originals. Like, never mind the 26 years of history the Warriors say about their jersey, mate. You've been on this platform from day dot when we really couldn't get a platform up and running. So nice to have you back. Is that a quick silver top?
It is, man.
It is.
Wow.
That's it, man. How good. We're about to go to Lennox Head on the coast, probably take a longboard out to Silver.
It's been good. So, look, this headline came up on NRL.com. NRL definitely resuming May 28th. Clubs to resume training soon. Wayne Pearce is what he said. And apparently, what is it? You guys are all going to be training on May the 4th. Resume training. What do you know about it? Did you know anything about it?
Apparently, well, communication lines have been fantastic, haven't they, with the NRL? Mate, can we wait a minute before I start? Can we take that image down?
Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry,
disturbing.
mate. Sorry,
mate.
God,
for you, buddy. Just for you.
Yeah, guys. So obviously we had to be honest, we had a Zoom meeting. Players Association had a Zoom meeting this afternoon or tonight, sorry, so about 6 o'clock our time. We had no idea that was coming out. There's a couple of people on the call that are involved at the NRL, and we had no indication that was coming out. So I'm not sure whether they are working, how closely they're working with this Project Apollo group or not. I don't know if they're all across everything that's been said, but yeah, there's a few things that need to go under the water at the moment, mate. Like from our point of view, the main thing is we actually don't know. No one knows how long the competition's going for. We got told that our families can't come on the same application to receive exemption to enter Australia, so we don't know when that's going to be okay. So there's some pretty important things, those two. We haven't been ticked off in terms of, medical and insurances haven't been approved yet. So, what a game, man. Rugby league.
Greatest game of all, they say, mate. Greatest game of all.
Just get training.
Just get it back. So, mate, we understand. Obviously, everyone wants the comp to start and to go again. We all want to get back and get playing. Obviously the fans want us to get back and get playing. If we don't get back and get playing, we don't get paid, we'll be unemployed. Like we understand all that. But there's a few things that need to be ticked off first, and just coming out with some statements like that without ticking the boxes. Yeah,
it feels a little panic, Grinny. Like, this is just me looking from the outside in. I can see rugby over here in New Zealand going all right. There's a whole lot of things we would like to make sure are proper and can work, and this and this and this, and before we make any outlandish statements. Then I see the NRL coming in with just dates that have been thrown here and islands that might be happening, and the Warriors will stay here and then train. And it feels really random, and it feels like you guys are the Cowboys of the Wild West, and rugby's kind of like, okay, let's be all lined up and normal. How do you feel? Where's your head at? Where would you rather kind of be?
Yeah, I would definitely rather be. I think the AFL have got it right. In a lot of ways, I feel like they're in control of their game. They're in control. They control the narrative that gets put out there in the media a little bit. I never see many people coming after the AFL and trying to bring them down. Where I feel like people take great joy in writing negative stories about rugby league or putting out a negative story on rugby league. So You know, and this is just probably another example, mate, on a different level. But yeah, we're always out there in the spotlight. I'd prefer us to